Imagine this. A man storms out of a store in fury over discrimination, but then gets into his car and drives away right to the gas station next door. This is not just a story, it's a classic case of irony wrapped up in a tale of misunderstanding and stubborn pride. Here's what happened. I work at one of those fancy clothing stores where you can find everything from designer jeans to evening gowns, and most days it's pretty uneventful. But then came the day that changed my life. Well, not really, but it was certainly memorable. A man walked in with 3 small children. The kids were running around, giggling and getting into just about every display they could reach. I tried to keep an eye on them while helping their dad pick out some clothes, but let me tell you, that's no easy task. He shopped for what felt like hours just when I thought he was done. He'd remember another item he needed. Finally, the man went up to the counter with a full shopping cart. "That'll be all," he said, as if it were nothing out of the ordinary. But here's where things got interesting. He didn't have his store credit card on him. I explained that we could look it up using his driver's license or state ID. "Ah, I don't drive." "Here, take a look at my passport," he said with confidence, pulling out this thick blue book. I tried to explain gently, "Sir, our system only accepts driver's licenses and state IDs for identification purposes. But a passport is a better form of ID than a driver's license. This is Uncle Sam right here," he insisted. "I understand your concern, sir," I replied, trying my best to remain calm. "But the scanner can only recognize those specific forms of ID." He looked at me with disbelief. "That's discrimination against people who don't drive." With that, he stormed out of the store. I was about to breathe a sigh of relief when, 5 minutes later, he came storming back in. "Here, I found my ID. Now please look up my credit card," he said, pulling out his passport again. "Sir, our system physically can't scan this as an ID." He was irate now. "But it's a government-issued ID. Scan it." At that point, my manager heard the commotion and came over to help. She repeated what I had been saying for the past 10 minutes, but he wasn't having any of it. We apologized profusely and even offered him a discount on his purchase as compensation, but all he did was rant and rave. Finally, he took his kids and swore that he would never shop with us again. "You're discriminating against people who don't drive," he yelled one last time before stomping out of the store for good, or so we thought. He got into a car right outside our doors and drove off to the next gas station down the street, where I'm sure he bought his kids some candy and soda. Talk about irony. The moral of this story? Maybe it's not just about following the rules. Sometimes it's about understanding where someone is coming from. But in the end, we all do what we can with the tools we have. And in my case, that meant holding firm to store policy while trying to keep a smile on my face. So next time you find yourself in a similar situation, take a deep breath and remember, it might be worth stepping back and seeing things from another angle. And if you enjoyed this story about the unexpected twists of life and human nature make, sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of our channel. We've got more stories like these waiting for you, packed with drama, humor, and a dash of real-life unpredictability. See you in the next video.